Come on, BTC.
Good morning, everybody. I appear to have moved. I hope you are all doing well. Welcome back to the live stream. My name's Mike. This is Crypto Warehouse. We stream at 11 o'clock every day, Monday to Friday, as best we can. I am, however, not streaming tomorrow. I do have an appointment with the ophthalmologist, whatever they're called, the people that look at your eyes. So that is tomorrow. I won't be streaming. Hopefully, I will be streaming Wednesday, Thursday, or Wednesday, Friday this week, just so I can get back into things. Now, we have a lot to cover, and we have a question from Bullish Bull, which I'm going to answer. It's one of the questions we're going to answer today, and we have a busy show. So busy, I have added too many items to the show, so we're going to go through them as fast as we can. Of course, we're going to have a look at the markets, X-Files. We're going to have a look at the Bitcoin risk factors. We're going to look at ADA and XRP price targets. Are the price targets people are talking about realistic, which is the title of the show today, or are they pie in the sky? We're going to talk about the phantom airdrop. Is it a phantom airdrop, or is it a phantom airdrop? I'll get to that in a bit. We're then going to talk about AI agents, and I'm going to tell you about a purchase that I made yesterday. I've said since September to pack your bags. I've also said since September you shouldn't be FOMOing in at 100, 105, 110,000. You should be dollar cost averaging in. That's the key, okay? I know that you have money on the side. I know some of you have money from your wages, from your salaries that you want to keep buying in. Just keep buying in and dollar cost averaging in. But remember, there's going to be a point very soon, maybe May, maybe as long as October, where you need to turn the tap off. You need to stop buying and you need to think about selling. In this bull market, I put a tweet out last night and put it on a few different places. By the end of this year, and I think I might have said this on Friday, but I'm going to keep reiterating this point. By the end of this year, you should have sold everything that you own. Maybe Bitcoin is the exception, depending on lots and lots and lots of factors, okay? There's probably a 20% chance that I'm not going to sell my Bitcoin this year. There's an 80% chance that I am. There is a 100% chance I am going to sell my Near protocol, my Ondo, my Ethereum, my Solana, my Cardano, my XRP. It's all getting sold and I don't care what it goes to after that, okay? So there is going to be a point where the reward is just simply not there for the risk that you're about to take. And I'm going to talk about some of those prices throughout the stream. And Bullish Bull has asked, is there anything we should be buying now, or should we wait for the Trump inauguration? There's two things I'm going to go through today. One, of course, is the historic Bitcoin price and where we have gone in the past, especially as there is some seasonality involved. Seasonality on the 4-year cycle and seasonality on the year. So I've made a video for the OGs in which I've gone through the 30% corrections I expect us to have this year. I'm not going to go over them on this stream. We don't have enough time. But this is the period of time. If you remember what happened last year, we had the ETF approval. About 2 weeks from today, we had the ETF approval. And what happened? We went sideways for what felt like 400 years. Okay, we went sideways. We didn't move. So I'm going to show you the Bitcoin chart, and I've highlighted some spots to show you what happens in January each year, and then Bullish Bull can make his own opinion. So good morning to Bullish Bull, KB. Mags is in chat now. Mags has been unblocked. I don't know why blocked in the first place. Velvet Rope is here. Hidden Agendas is here. I'm going to go through some bits at the beginning, and then we're going to get on with the show. I think Solo Sky has just arrived. Good morning. It's good to be back on the stream. It's great to be back on the stream. I cannot tell you how nice it is to be sitting here. Now, I am going to very quickly go through some prices. I said in our Telegram group, and there is witnesses here to that I said we'd be back at 99,000 today because that's where the CME gap was. And lo and behold, an hour ago, we went to 99,150. Okay, 99,000, 98,000 is quite a middling range compared to where we are now. So Bitcoin is back at that price. Ethereum isn't doing too bad. Remember, Ethereum's going to have a good 3 months, good 4 months, good 5 months maybe. XRP is above where I expected it to be at this time. Solana is doing incredibly well. BNB, there's lots of coins that are doing incredibly well, but we are waiting for the inauguration. We are waiting for the strategic reserve. That's the next bit of bullish news, followed by the ETF. So there's lots of good news to come out. Right, there's some serious gainers and some reasonable losers today. Pudgy Penguins, which was the airdrop that came out while I was off. I haven't sold any of that. I am probably going to sell it at some point in the near future. I think 2.7 billion is decent. I think it will go a lot higher. Render is up there. Filecoin, there's a few. Phantom is sliding. The coin that I will not mention is sliding. A dog with hat curve. Thought a few losers. I mean, it's pretty much here nor there. There isn't really a lot to go through on this, to be honest. We are holding our breath. Now, I've got a few interesting tweets for you, not as many as normal, because there's a lot to get through today. And I know I try and do this in an hour, and I'm going to try and do this in an hour. All the way, we always aim for 1 hour on this stream, simply because we don't want to keep you from your day. Now then, Ash Crypto, I follow. I think this is the first time I've ever put Ash Crypto into one of our streams. The reason is he posts a lot of various different things that aren't necessarily interesting to look at, but I like the way he succinctly put some of his indicators into a very nice tweet. These are the indicators for the altcoin rally. We have the ETH Bitcoin pair, which we covered on Friday. We have the altcoin market cap, which I covered in the OG video I put out on Saturday. Stablecoin dominance we don't look at. Bitcoin dominance we do look at. So we cover 3 of the 4 indicators. And these aren't the only 3 or 4 indicators. There's plenty of others. You can turn anything into an indicator. You look at the DXY. Believe you me, if the DXY went from 108 to 80 tomorrow, Bitcoin would rally beyond where you've ever seen it go. So there's lots of other indicators. There's the monthly RSI. There's the bull market support band. There's lots of things which can help give us the direction of Bitcoin. Is it going to bounce? Is it going to plummet? There's loads of things, but I like the fact that there are 4 succinct things that you look at, and you're not going to go wrong if you follow these 4. There's plenty of others, but of course, you can't look at everything. You'll spend the entire day looking at indicators. And what a lot of people should really do is pick a couple of things to stick to and stick to them. And if they're wrong and you miss a pump, why did you miss the pump? Go back and change your indicators. Very simply put. Fear and greed is another good one. If fear and greed is at 85 or 90, there's a good chance Bitcoin is going to come down in price. When the fear and greed index is at 18, 20, 25, there's a good chance that Bitcoin is going to go up. So you can look at whatever you want. You can take whatever you want with a pinch of salt. Oh, by the way, please smash the like button. We did break 188,000 at some point on Friday or Saturday. I'm not sure when we did it. And we're 12,000 away from 200,000. So smash the like button, give us a follow, say hello on the chat, comment on the stream, let me know you're there. There are no stupid questions, only stupid answers, as most of you are aware. Now then, John Deaton wants to basically go and look into Operation Choke Point. Now, there is a thing which people talk about, which is called a conspiracy theory. And this is a tar which is applied to you if you challenge the narrative of anything. And that can be about aliens. It can be about pandemics. It can be anything you want. Operation Choke Point was called a conspiracy theory at the time. And what they were trying to do was basically throttle crypto businesses' access to banking facilities. And it was called a conspiracy theory. Why would we do that? We would never do that. And of course it came out, and of course they were debanking crypto businesses left, right, and center. Now, whether that was the government, whether that was the banking institutions themselves, I do not know. But John Deaton is going to investigate it, because it doesn't create a free and fair market. And as one thing we always talk about on the stream, we don't want special measures. Crypto businesses should be treated like every other business. They should have the same set of rules, the same set of audits applied to them than are applied to banks and other financial institutions. We don't want special treatment. Measuring crypto businesses is different, but treating them, auditing them, KYC, AML, that all needs to be applied fairly across the board. All right then, let's move on very quickly. We have a lot to get through today. Now then, I'm not going to go through all of this. This is not important to go through, but I want to just basically demonstrate and highlight these are all of the businesses, not just in America, but also in Asia, in Europe. These are all the businesses that have now added Bitcoin to their treasury. Now, you won't remember, but we looked at this probably 3 months ago, and it was a top 20. Then it was a top 30, top 50. It's now going to be a top 80 because there's more to add, okay? These things appear out of nowhere. I've said this 1,000 times. When the internet first came about, it was nowhere, then everywhere all at once, okay? Crypto is nowhere, then it's everywhere all at once. And all at once means this is happening before your very eyes. Now, the other thing that is happening before your very eyes, I'm going to go on to in a minute. I'm going to show you the Bitcoin reserves on exchanges. And I've shown you this before. The reason I'm showing it you, does anybody watch Doctor Who? Have you ever seen, I think they're called the Weeping Angels. They're stone cherubs with wings. But if you don't look at them, they move. And when you look at them, they stand still. That's what's happening to you right now in crypto. You don't understand. Everything going on around you is a seismic shift. And people are going to tell you it's a bubble. People told me the internet was a bubble. Okay? It's not a bubble when the majority of financial institutions in the world are looking to get into crypto. Now, maybe XRP or Cardano or Solana is a bubble. Maybe. But the internet and crypto are markets. They're not individual businesses, okay? You could say Peloton was a bubble because everybody bought a Peloton during lockdown and now the price is down 95% because nobody needs the bikes. All of the stocks in fitness equipment, it's all down since COVID because COVID created an excessive amount of demand which gave them profits. Crypto is not a business, it is an industry. The industry isn't a bubble, but companies within it can be. You will see probably a lot of the meme coins disappear in the next 4 years. You're very unlikely to see Bitcoin or Ethereum or Solana disappear in the next 4 years, but it's still a possibility. Solana crashing, becoming a fraction of what it was, it's a possibility. It's unlikely. The further we go on, it becomes more and more unlikely. So be careful. When people say it's a bubble, it does not mean it's a bubble. Ignore the comment about the crypto wallets. It's a scam. Okay, so ignore them. Don't look at them. Now then, Bitcoin, almost 1 year ago, the Bitcoin spot ETFs were launched. It caused a short-term correction, which was sell the news. This year, we have the inauguration of Trump in January with similar price action throughout the end of the year. Let's see if we get anything similar. Now, again, I think, and I'm going to show you the chart in a little bit, I think we've got one of two things is going to happen. Either way, we have the same outcome. So we're going to go through that in a minute when we get to the Bitcoin chart. And that's when we're going to get to Bullish Bull's question of should you buy or not, or what should you do? We're going to get to that in a minute. Now, this is the last thing I'm going to show you before I get into the Bitcoin news and the charts. This is the amount of Bitcoin on exchanges that goes back to 2022. Now, simple math, 21 million Bitcoin, 19.5 million have been mined. 1 million is gone, so 18.5 million Bitcoin in circulation. Way back when, there was 1 in 6 were on exchanges. But this blue line shows you the amount of Bitcoin on exchanges. And you can see it has fallen by 30% in, what's that, two years, 2.5 years. This isn't important now, but this is the weeping angels moment for you. This blue line hasn't really gone up an awful lot in the time that this chart started, which was when? Beginning of 2022. So let's call it from the beginning. So let's call it 2 years, 3 years, whatever it is. I'm losing track of time. What's happening is the amount of Bitcoin on exchanges is falling. And this is not going to reverse until the price of Bitcoin gets to the point where the people who've been holding sell. And that is the crux of the matter. Do people sell at 100,000? They haven't done, have they? Because we've hit 100,000 and the blue line is still going down. Are they going to sell at 150, 200, 300, $500,000 Bitcoin? When are they going to sell? We will know when this blue line starts to turn up. Because why do you remove Bitcoin, Ethereum, Solana? Why do you remove it from an exchange? You remove it from an exchange because you don't want to trade it. You want to put it in cold storage. You want to keep it safe. Why does crypto get moved to an exchange? To sell. We follow Whale, I think it's called Whale Tracker or something like that, and we see the amount of Tether being minted, and then very shortly after we will see $1 billion of USDT get moved to an exchange. Why? To buy crypto. And then what do we see? We see the Bitcoin being moved off. It's not difficult. Just keep an eye on it. So as far as I can see, we are as you were. For those of you that are new here, hello. We don't go through this amount of repetition every day, but we do try and cover it as much as possible. Now then, Bitcoin below 100,000, key factors holding Bitcoin back and potential risks. I do think we're going to have a run at 100,000 today, and then I think we're either going to get rejected and come down fairly dramatically in the next 2 weeks, or we're going to break, and if we break, we need to hold. But let's see where we go. Right, I'm just going to switch over to this one so I'm not on the camera, because I do go a bit shaky, visually shaky, I'm not actually shaking on the camera. Right, Bitcoin to close below 100,000. We saw, where did we go? We're up to 108,000. We're currently at 99. So what are we down? We're not even down 10%. Okay. We did come down 10%, but we're not currently down 10%. We're now in the mid-range, which we'll show you in a minute. So, what is going to happen? We're at the critical point. We know about that. We've got back above the 50-week MA. I'm cautiously bullish because, for all we know, Bitcoin could be forming a head and shoulders pattern that anticipates a correction to 78,000. Now, that figure has probably changed since this was written. I'm going to show you that in a minute as well. Overall, what we're looking at, and I'm going to be careful, I don't want to read too much of the articles out because we're not going to have enough time. So basically, there are risk rejections. Let's call them that. Or rejections which are based on risk. Now, I drew this before. This is my new... Here we go. Okay, so let's ignore them for a second. So, we have got some lines on here. 91.5, which again, they were talking to, and 106, which is the close, not the wick. And we're sitting pretty much in the middle of that at about 99,000. Okay, that's where we are. Now, let's have a look at where we were in January last year. We were here. And we went up here for 2 months. Let's put myself back on camera so you can see me. We went up. So, bullish bull. The answer, I suppose, to the question is, I think, and there's another one back here, by the way. I've highlighted several of these. Okay? These are not the Januaries, these are the Marches. Okay, so March 2021, we went sideways and down. March 2022, we started to go sideways and down. March 2023, March 2024, what do we think is going to happen here? So in answer to your question, we do this for a while and then break out. Or this breaks to a new price and then we wobble for a bit. The previous 3 years, 24, 23 and 22, we have gone up in January and gone sideways from March onwards. I think we could look at something similar now. And the issue is, in answer to the question, Bullish Bull's question, the answer is, if we go up now, or we go up in March, we are still going to see some sideways and sideways downward actions in the rest of the year. We have 3 corrections along the way, remember, 3 30% corrections, which don't happen overnight, they can happen over a period of a long time. The 60 or the 78,000 target, which was highlighted in that article, has changed since the article was written because we've now had a new weekly close. This is now coming in at $82,000. So if we corrected to $82,000 from here, that would be nearly a 20% correction. From 108,000 down to 82,000 to 26, that's a 25% correction. Maybe 82,000 is where we go. Now, again, Bitcoin doesn't need a reason to go up. It needs a reason to go down. What are the reasons that Bitcoin could go down? And then you would be able to DCA more. Something happens on the Trump inauguration. There is a black swan event that we don't know about. We enter a recession. The jobs and labour market comes in and it's starting to hint towards a major recession. They're all things that could cause Bitcoin to go down. The DXY continuing to rally above 110, 112. All of those things could happen. They could happen. We don't know they're going to happen. So in answer to the question, what I would do, where do we think Bitcoin's going to go to in this bull run? We think it might go to 140, 150,000. So 50% up from here. Do we think the alts are going to run a 2, a 3, a 4x from here? I think some of them will. So whether you're buying today or whether you're buying when Bitcoin goes down at 90,000 or 82,000, wherever it might be, I don't think it matters. I think buying in May and June, when we might be at 120,000 or the alts have already run up and Bitcoin dominance has broken down, I think you're missing the boat. I think now is a good time to buy, okay? And I have made one other purchase yesterday, which I'm going to go through in the stream. But if I was you and your bags are packed, sit on your hands until May, and then work out if May is going to be the all-time high for this cycle, or whether we think it's going to continue to run into October and November. So if you've got money on the side and you want to get in, I would get in now. And it doesn't matter if we go to 82,000. If we rally from here into the Trump inauguration, which is 2 weeks away, and then we correct, then it still doesn't matter because we're still at least 4 or 5 months away from the all-time high. And in my opinion, we're 10 or 11 months away from the all-time high. So that's my answer to your question. If you've got a dollar cost average strategy and you're buying every week, stick to that and don't worry about anything that I'm saying, okay? Maybe if we do go to 82,000, you throw a little bit more at it, but that's what I would say. Now, the theme of the show today is be realistic. I saw one of the very popular crypto analysts out there saying that you shouldn't be expecting a 10x from here. And I wholeheartedly agree with him. But the way he worded it, I didn't agree with. Very simply put, as we get towards the end of this year, if people are telling you that we are going to go to a $25 ADA, or a $50 XRP, they're talking out of their behinds, okay? People are saying we're not going to get a 10x on Bitcoin. Well, if you bought Bitcoin at $15,000 and we go to $150,000, the multiplications are based from the bear market low to the bull market high. So that is a 10x for Bitcoin. It's not a 10x for Bitcoin from today, because that would put us at $1 million. You'd have to be an idiot to think we're going to $1 million in this cycle. We go to 150,000. That's a half X from here. But if you went from 20,000 to 140,000, that's a 7x. So when people give you these price targets, you always have to take them based on the date they tell you. Can we get to $4 for Cardano? Absolutely. But in the bull run, end of the bull run, where are we going to go? I think $5 to $7. I've said $5 to $7 for a year. I've said the same thing for XRP, which we're going to go on. Can we go to $4 now is the question. Yes, we can. The reason is Ada and Charles Hoskinson are connected directly now to Donald Trump. How is blockchain going to benefit the American people and help the American government to streamline processes and whatever else it might be? Charles has a seat at that table with Elon Musk and Donald Trump. Whether you like them or not, doesn't matter. Charles is there. I've put a poll up today. Do we think the strategic reserve is going to be solely Bitcoin, or is it going to be Bitcoin and other cryptocurrencies? I think there is a growing belief that there's going to be other cryptocurrencies added to the strategic reserve. What would they be? Well, the first two, straight off the bat, for me, would be XRP and Cardano. Now, that would make my price prediction totally invalid. If the American government go out and buy $1 billion of Cardano over the next 3 years, then of course the price is going to appreciate. So these are all ifs and buts and maybes, and we can't really work in that when we work for what we're going to sell things at. Do I think we can go from $1 to $4 in the first part of this year for ADA? Absolutely we can. The reason is the bullish news behind Charles, the bullish news behind Cardano, and more importantly, and you have to bear this in mind, more importantly than having a seat at the table is the Cardano connection to Bitcoin. Interoperability is one of our 4 tenets that we have. Adoption, regulation, actually 3 tenets, sorry. Adoption, regulation, and interoperability. If Cardano can process on the Bitcoin blockchain, if it can facilitate the transactions in Cardano, it gives itself a massive value proposition. Now, Cardano, if we go back a bit to when we were first talking about Cardano, down here, again, where were we at here? 23 cents. So we've 4x'd. Let's call it a 5x. We've 5x'd from where we said we were going to be in Cardano. And my opinion was we would 10x. So we're halfway there. A little bit like Bon Jovi. We're halfway there. Now, we've come all the way up. We've come down. And again, fib levels are your friends. They give you a rough guide to where things can go. So if we go back here, you'll see that I have found a previous price point for Cardano, which is 118. We're currently sitting at 17. To go to $4 would put us at an all-time high. Okay, $3 previous all-time high. Can we go to $4? Yes. Bitcoin dominance is going to break down. Bitcoin dominance is going to break down soon. I said in December, actually no, I said in November. I wasn't on in December. I said in November that we're not going to break down on the 1st of January. We're likely to break down in the first 3 weeks of January. That coincides with the Trump inauguration, coincides with many other things. Interest rates are going to come down across the globe as well. And I think that's going to put liquidity into Cardano. My short-term guess would be $2, not $4. However, you can't write off Donald Trump standing up at a conference on the 27th of January and say, we are going to build a basket of strategic crypto assets that will include Cardano and XRP because we've got some really clever guys. We've got Brad Garlinghouse and we've got Charles Hoskinson. That happens, we're at $4. Doesn't happen, we're at $2. Charles is going to demonstrate the Cardano connectivity to Bitcoin at a Bitcoin conference, which is probably going to be the one in September. That's 2 months before the end of the bull run. The bull run, I think, is going to be at that time. So 2 months before the November all-time highs, Charles is going to show Cardano connected to Bitcoin. That's the blow off top that might push way above the $3 to $5. Sorry, $5 to $7 that I've got for Cardano. Okay, maybe some of the Moon Boys talking about $10. Maybe they're being realistic. But if I sell my Cardano at $5, I have made a massive six-figure sum just from Cardano. Do I then care if it goes any higher? The short-term answer is no, I don't care. I do not care a jot. Now then, XRP to $11. This is a little bit more out there, if you like. And again, the title of the show today, which I can see from here, is Be Realistic. And I'm going to stick with this strategy of being realistic. You have to understand, if you're arriving now and you're looking at XRP at $11, you're thinking to yourself, that's a good 4x for me. That's a great 4x for me. And you shouldn't compare your journey to everybody else's journey. I get that. But it's like E.T. when Elliot is dropping the M&Ms and he's leading E.T. into the shed, right? When XRP gets to $5, this headline will be XRP to $20, looking into what's next after the hike. Then if it gets to $10, we're going to see XRP to $40. Can you not see what they're trying to do? They are giving you goals which we're never going to get to. And let's get rid of that advert. And that's the problem. You are being given targets which you're never going to get to because you're waiting for the $11 XRP. You're waiting for, maybe they give you a $15 target for Cardano. And yes, there is a slim chance that we see an $11 XRP, but we're going to have a look at that in a minute. So again, I didn't include these two articles to go through them. I included these articles because I want to manage your expectations, okay? I have no allegiance to any coin on any blockchain. I have an allegiance to selling everything I have in November. And because of that, whether I'm wrong and it's May or June, I will decide in April or May, okay? But for now, it's November. I want you to start thinking about the same thing, especially if you have bought Cardano at 25 cents, if you bought XRP at 30 cents. If XRP goes to $3, you've 10x'd already. If it goes to $6, you've 20x'd your money. So if you put $1,000 into XRP in June 2023 or whatever it was, October 2023, before it started to pump, you've turned $1,000 into $20,000. Be realistic, okay? Be realistic. Where is it going to go from there? Now, there is a massive, massive bullish sentiment behind Cardano and XRP, and that's what's important to highlight here. You need to understand this market cap column here. Now, this is, if I can't click on it, but I can highlight it a little bit, I suppose, okay? For those of you watching, by the way, I'm still half blind from my operation, so if you see me squinting, yes, I'm Mr. Magoo right now. Right, this market cap, this is the total value of this blockchain. Now, XRP is at $2.40. Now, let's call it, for the sake of arguments, a 4x from here. That would put it at a $500 billion market cap. $500 billion. Do you think it's realistic to 4x XRP from here? I don't. That's why my target is $5 to $7, because I think we are very much likely going to get to 300 billion. Do I think Solana, because I saw some absolute clown of a YouTuber saying that Solana was going to go to $2,500. This was the same clown that said that Solana was going to be at $1,000 in December. Okay? I'm not going to mention names because it's not fair. So he was 5 times off for his target for last December, and now he's giving you a target which is a 10x from here. A 10x from here would put Solana at $1 trillion. The total market cap of Bitcoin at this moment in time is $2 trillion, and Bitcoin is the gold standard asset. It's not going to happen. However, I think we could get to $600 to $1,000 with an ETF. At $600, that would give us a $300 billion market cap. Is that doable from here? Yes. Is the XRP $400 billion market cap from here doable? Yes. But they're only a 3 or a 4x. And yes, we're going to have a blow off top. And yes, we could wick to a $500 billion market cap. Yes, we could, but it's not sustainable. Now, this is where we get down to not realistic targets, but where you need to understand why the market cap can move. If you have a look at, say, Litecoin, and I know Tariq loves Litecoin. Litecoin has a market cap of 8.5 billion. Now, to get Litecoin to 80 billion would 10x the price and put Litecoin at $1,100. It would give it an $80 billion or $85 billion market cap. Is there more chance of that than Solana going to $2,500? Yes. Why? Because Litecoin is more than likely going to be one of the first ETFs approved. Okay, it's a fork from Bitcoin. It's proof of work, which means none of the proof of stake and all that kind of nonsense and staking, all of that can be ignored. It's proof of work. So could it go to 80 billion with an ETF and with the bullishness behind it being added into all of the different portfolios? Absolutely. I'm not saying buy Litecoin, by the way. I'm just giving you another example. You can't say everything is going to 10x from here. It's utter BS. It's nonsense. If Bitcoin adds $1 trillion more, $1 trillion more, it will only reach $150,000. $1 trillion. Let me just say that again, okay? But if we wanted to get Toncoin to, let's say, $25, that would only make it 70 billion, okay? So that would only add $56 billion, okay? It's more achievable. It's not an absolute, but it's more achievable. And the further you go down, well, we're going to look at an AI coin in a minute, okay? We look at meme coins as well. I tell you to get a $300 to a $500 million meme coin. If you want to buy meme coins, buy that price, because the opportunity of it hitting 3 or 4 billion is a lot higher than buying something like SHIB, which is already way up here at 14 billion. So bear all of these things in mind. Now, again, the other thing to bear in mind is don't listen to everything anybody online tells you, okay? I am not a rocket scientist. I am not the expert in the universe on crypto. I just give you my opinion. And most of the time, my opinion, I am like the most boring uncle in the world, okay? You want a mountain bike for Christmas, I get you a Theosaurus, okay? You want a PlayStation 6 or whatever the latest one is, okay? I will buy you a book on Winston Churchill, right? It's never going to be a case you're going to come on here and I'm going to give you targets which are going to excite you. And that's obviously why we don't blow up as much as other people, because we don't give you moon boy mass. But you have to appreciate, I am like Switzerland. I don't have a connection to any chain or any coin. Yes, we're sponsored by Mu. Yes, we're sponsored by WolfSwap. Yes, but I don't talk about them every stream. You can see on the screen who we're sponsored by. I don't hide it like other influencers that sit there and say buy Bitcoin, buy Ethereum, and buy Thumbelina coin. we tell you. Now, this is something else that's going to happen. Crypto wallet Phantom confirms it won't launch a token amid airdrop rumors. You will have seen lots of people online asking you to follow them on Phantom. Yes, we know about that. They've come out and said that they're not going to do a token yet. This is the second time it's happened. It happened back, I think, at the beginning of last year. Download the wallet, mint an NFT, carry out $10 worth of transactions, and you're eligible. This time around, they've said, or people have been saying, they're going to give you points for every person you follow, and it's led to massive downloads, massive number of people following, and it turns out that they're not launching a token. What would I say to this? Let's make sure I've not missed anything out. What I would say to this is, you should always have your wallet connected to the likes of Jupiter. You should always have a Phantom wallet and a Soulflare wallet, and new wallets. You should always download them and have them in the background. Okay? At some point in the future, Phantom is very likely to do an airdrop, and when they do it, they will say something along the lines of, we're going to reward everybody that used the wallet between November 2020 and November 2023, and it's now January 2025. So you've missed out. But getting the wallet and installing it and setting it up and maybe sending yourself $10 is not going to do you any harm. And at some point in the future, if they do a token airdrop, fantastic. The other thing that happens as well is people will airdrop to Phantom wallets. So you will get an airdrop from different people. It's worth having. It's free. Don't put your crown jewels and your life savings into it. It's a hot wallet. Remember, it can be hacked. But just download it. And just because they've said they're not going to do it today, it doesn't mean they're not going to do it at some point in the future. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. Right, 11:40. How far through the stream are we? Let me go back and have a look. I think we've still got a fair bit to go. Okay, we've got three things to talk about. The AI agents. I suppose this is the next one to look at. So, Bullish Bull, if he's still awake and not working out, and everybody else. This is a narrative that I have actively avoided for the last couple of months. And I mentioned it on Friday, and that was to do with AI16Z. AI16Z. If you follow what everybody else is saying, then you need to go and buy AI16Z. Okay? Because that is apparently, according to everybody, the AI token to hold. Okay? Now, I am never going to recommend that you go and buy a coin based on what everybody else is going to tell you. So I have found a coin and bought this coin yesterday. I didn't buy a lot. It was about $125 of this coin. That's all I bought because my bags are packed and this is a bit of play money. So, AI agents, how do they work? Let me, again, come off camera for a second so you don't see my beautiful, shiny head. So, this is the next thing that people are talking about. I covered it last week. I was doing memes versus AI. So, AI agents, they sound really, really sexy, and they're really not all that, okay? So we know about AI. We know it's going to play a big part in DeFi. We know it's going to play a big part in helping you send transactions from one place to another. We know all of that. And basically, they're not really super AI agents. They just follow a list of very simplistic tasks. So what they do, they operate autonomously, and their aim is to replicate human abilities such as analyzing, planning, and decision-making. Their design is based on advanced machine learning and computational intelligence techniques, allowing them to adapt to different scenarios. Their operation is inspired by perception action model. The agent receives information from its environment through sensors, processes that data, and responds with actions. Their ability is to learn from experience. They don't just follow, they analyze the results. This learning can be achieved through various methods. Types of agents, this is what's important to you. And again, please understand, I'm trying to keep this as simple as possible, okay? Most people watching are newcomers. If you are an advanced user of AI agents, you have to understand this is not going to be for you, okay? But just bear with me. So, simple, reactive. They direct in response to stimuli without storing information about the past. Their functionality is limited. I would call them more bots. So you would have maybe a trading bot that simply buys every new meme coin that comes out of a decentralized exchange, or a push.fun, or the other one that's on Solana. Goal-based. They pursue specific goals. For example, a financial agent optimizes an investment strategy to maximize returns. And learning-based. Historical data and previous experiences to train models that improve progressively. They are achieved through neural networks, deep farming algorithms, and techniques like reinforcement learning, commonly used in complex operations. So what I would use, and with memory, of course, is bots with memory. So the way to look at this is, each level of this is more advanced. Simple, with memory, very linear. Goal-based, it has a specific goal. Maybe it's trading a certain stock, or crypto asset. And then learning-based. That is the most advanced element of that, okay? And everything beyond this is where you need to understand that they sound sexier than they necessarily are at the minute, okay? When you bought your first TV, or when my grandparents first bought their TV, let me put it back on camera, it was a massive glass tube, and it weighed like 60 kilos, and it had 3 buttons on it, okay? Fast forward to today, and you have projectors, you have the glasses, Google glasses, you've got the Meta VR. It's come a long way. Do not expect AI agents to turn your $100 into $100,000 tomorrow. You're going to see YouTube videos on it. I guarantee there'll be a YouTube video out there. How I make $5,000 a day using AI and only putting in $25. And it's all rubbish, okay? That's not how life works, okay? Money is hard to come by. And when you get it, you should cherish it. Do not think these AI bots are going to make you a fortune. And what comes with these AI bots is very simply, you're going to see scams upon scams upon scams. People trying to scam you with fake AI bots. Put $500 in and we'll make you $100 a day. It's all trash, okay? So, perception, processing, decision-making, and action. It's continuous learning. That's the bit for me. But again, if everybody does the same thing and everybody learns the same method of doing something, then that becomes a suboptimal way of trading. That's the problem. So if AI bots, if all of them expect the market to move in a certain way, the market will move in the other way and it will break them. And you'll see a lot of AI trading bots that are specifically for dollar cost averaging in or selling the RSI and buying the RSI, whatever it might be, because they're trying to keep it simple. I think when we get to the point of real AI bots, you know, the financial institution, government financial departments are already talking about how AI is an existential threat to the different markets around the world. And I think they are. There is a greater chance of a stock market crash than there is of Arnold Schwarzenegger coming back in time and trying to eliminate me, okay? So I think the financial markets could be under threat. I think trading of stocks could be under threat, especially when it's linked to a 24/7 stock exchange like BlackRock are building. Then you could go to bed on a Monday, on a Friday night, with Apple being worth 200 trillion, and then waking up on Monday morning and Apple be worth 50 trillion because all the bots sold off over the weekend. That's the existential threat. So again, we don't have to go through all this. These are the top projects. Now, number one, ASI, is of course the one I've been telling you about for 2 years. Okay, that's my number one pick. Virtuals, that's the next one. I'm not a big fan of Ori chain. Not in terms of not liking it, but it doesn't appeal to me, so I don't look at it. Now, Virtuals protocol, it allows AI to design the design of NFTs that respond to user preferences or external conditions. That's going to be a decent one. Humans AI, SUI agents. Again, SUI is a big one. We don't need to go into the risks. So I thought I would do something which I don't normally do, and that is pick out a winner from the AI field. And I've picked an unusual one. Coordinated bot dump that is very sinister by design. Exactly. I think that's the issue, is bots will find the optimal way to do things. And if they all have the same input and the same sensors and the same data available to them, the likelihood is that the majority of them will come to the same conclusion. Now, this is the one I've picked, and it's AI XBT. Now, before we all run off and think that I have been paid by this company, I don't even follow them. You can clearly see I do not follow them. I'm going to very quickly show you why I have picked this coin. I got in at 50 cents, I think. The market cap is 500 million, so it doesn't have a massive market cap. You will know this strategy from meme coins, because this is what I talk about all the time. If you're going to go and buy AI16Z, let's just go back one step. Let's see if it pops up. Okay, so this is the one. This is the coin that everybody tells you to buy. It already has a $2.1 billion market cap. Now, that doesn't mean anything. It doesn't mean it's not going to go to 20 billion or 200 billion. I know that. But in terms of short-term gains, we've only got at the least 5 months left, maybe 10 or 11 months of this bull run left. Okay, so I don't care about these coins for the next 5 years. I care about these coins for the next 5 months. Do I think there is a bigger chance of getting a 5x on a $500 million coin or a 5x on a $2 billion coin? This is a new industry. It's a new market. So this is highly speculative. And I know lots of very clever people back this coin. The one takeaway I would get from this is, if you've got $200 and it's spare and you're thinking of putting it into a meme coin, go and buy both. Go and buy AI16Z, which I don't hold, and go and buy AIXBT. Go and buy those two coins, because I think they're going to do exceptionally well. Now, the one thing you'll find about these types of projects is the websites are pretty garbage, okay? This is it. Let's make it a bit bigger so we can all read. So this is the AIXBT terminal. This talks here about accessing it. I'm not going to connect the wallet on the stream. That would be very silly. Anyway, basically, it is a bot that is trying to build itself out a social media presence, okay? And it's also building out its project in the background. So these AI bots, they are autonomous. So there's nobody running this at this moment in time. It just sits there and runs. And it sees how well it does, and then it reacts to that and it changes it. And again, I don't want to get into too much depth because it is 11:52. But what I would advise is you go and have a look at, actually, if I go back, 1 second. If I go back to the home page, oh, for the love of baby Jesus. Right, okay, we can't go and see it. But anyway, it doesn't matter. The point of the matter is that I think I would be remiss if I didn't look at AI projects for you on here. The same way with meme coins. I'm not a fan of meme coins. I'm not a fan of meme coins that don't do anything other than try and separate you from your money. There's community coins, which is what I call the likes of Mew. Bonk is a community coin. Floki. They all add value to their community based on different things. You know, they have a metaverse, they have financial products, they have bots themselves. Mew is going to work on a series of animated shows and things like that, and you can emulate it, whatever it might be. And AI is the new up-and-coming thing. And yes, I could have looked at this in November, but it is nowhere near too late to get into this. This is where meme coins were 2 years ago. And the speculation has been a lot faster than what happened with meme coins. There was a 12-month lull pretty much with meme coins. We're not going to get that with AI because it's got AI in the title. So my advice is very simply go and look at AI. If you don't know what you're doing and you've got $200, pick, and this sounds ridiculous, but pick 4 or 5 of your favorite AI sounding projects, things that do what you like to do, and make sure you pick ones with a minimum market cap of 100 or 200 million. And you can probably go to have a look at coin market cap. You can go into the search bar up here, type in AI, go to categories, AI agents, maybe. I don't know if this is the right one. I've not done this before. I've not prepared it. There you go. So these are the ones that are recommended by, or not. So these are the market caps recommended by you guys by buying them. So you've got virtuals up there. You've got ASI, which we talked about. You've got AI16Z, which is the one that I mentioned before. And then further down here, you should see the one that I've just been talking about, which isn't even listed on here. Or is it? There we go. So if you don't know what you're doing and you do hold FET, then you've not out the game. Go and get some virtuals, maybe get some AI16Z and get some AIXBT. That's what I would do, okay? Again, not financial advice, would never give you financial advice, but you shouldn't miss out on a new up-and-coming category. And again, the money on the side that we talk about, the 3 or 5% you keep on the side, maybe you allocate 1% to AI tokens, okay? And then run it through to the end of 2025 and then sell out again. Again, you're not married to these AI tokens. You're not married to your meme coins. You're not even married to your RWA tokens. You want to sell them all. Right then, let's move on very quickly. Thank you for all the likes today. There's a decent number of likes. CAU is a hidden gem according to Protagonist. I will go and have a look at that off stream. What time are we? 11:56. We've actually managed to get everything done in an hour. So WorldCoin's adoption woes, will whale Exodus trigger WLD's correction. Now, again, I don't cover WorldCoin because I don't like it. I don't like the premise. I don't like their connection to AI and Sam Altman. I don't like the way they go around the world taking scans of your retina. I don't like the way that they bribe people to do that. There is nothing about this company, their connections to the World Economic Forum, there's nothing about this company that I like. So when something happens to it, such as the fact that it can't get into a lot of countries, then I am happy, because I don't think anybody should have a centralized database of human beings' retinas, okay? There is not a company out there that has not been hacked. The Pentagon got hacked the other day, the Department of Justice or whatever has got hacked, or it was the Economic Department, everything gets hacked. So let's say we do have 100% adoption of WorldCoin, and let's say it gets hacked, and let's say all of the retinas of all the human beings on Earth are captured by somebody. What does that matter? Well, we don't know why it doesn't matter. We don't know why it doesn't matter, because AI will be further advanced down the line than we know. We don't know why it's doing it. Maybe you'll be able to have your personality, not personality, your, what's the word for it? Identity stolen. Maybe they'll be able to recreate the iris. They'll be able to do lots of things. So when these things crash, I am happy, okay? I don't want to see this be a success. I think it's anti-human. I think it's anti-liberty, and I think we should fire it into touch. But that's just my opinion. So the WorldCoin whales have abandoned it. The volumes have dropped. And the way I see this is that I think this is going to be one of those coins like EOS, which had big fanfare, it ran up, and it crashed. The only thing that's going to save WorldCoin is if they get some kind of pan-global agreement from governments that make us have retina scans. Apart from that, I think it's going to be trash. If you hold WorldCoin and you've made a profit on it, my advice would be to swap it non-financial advice, of course, would be to swap it out to something else, because I am just really not a fan of WorldCoin or anything else. So let's move very quickly back to this. I think that's the end of the show. Now, as I said at the start, I am not back tomorrow. I am off to have an eye checkup in the morning, and then probably will be streaming on Wednesday and maybe Friday this week. I'm going to aim to do 3 days a week. And the reason is that it's really slow for me to compile the show. I know it doesn't look an awful lot, but this takes a good hour to put together. And when my eye doesn't work properly, it takes about an hour and a half. And that's a long time to do the show on top of making videos, on top of chasing up people and that kind of thing. So I'm going to aim for Wednesday, and I'm going to aim for Friday this week. Aim to do 3 shows. And hopefully, at some point in the near future, I'll get back to doing 5 shows a week. But for now, it'll probably be Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. So a big thank you to everybody that has tuned in. Greatly appreciated. I will be back on, don't forget we're on Telegram. We're also on X, so go and give us a follow on both of those. Follow us on the exchange you're watching on now. That would be greatly appreciated. And until Wednesday, thank you, everybody. If you've got any questions, come and ask me on Telegram. Thank you, everybody, for coming. You, as always, have been great. I have been Mike. Until the next stream, adios.